Hey everyone, it's Gamefruitpulp, and welcome back to another Minecraft Building Toronto video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at something a little bit sort of different with this map, something that we've never really had to do before, but I mentioned it in some previous videos, and we decided to commit to doing it for the entire map, and as a result, I think we were able to do to redo some buildings and make them look really good. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've talked about it a bit on my community posts as well as in previous videos. But that's the rescaling of the map and making sure that all of our dimensions on the map are perfect to the city of Toronto. And this has been a pretty long scale project. We've been working on it quite diligently for over a month, with all four of the full-time builders really working towards fixing the issues of the map. And I can finally say now that we've done it really, and the entire map now is exact one-to-one scale of the city of Toronto, and it's quite a thing to see. One of our builders, Brims, actually did an overlay of our map on top of Google Maps, and it lines up perfectly. So it's something pretty cool. And so today's video, I'm just going to be taking a quick look, focusing on the east end of the map because that's where most of the work was done, but taking a quick look at the new sort of changed builds, what was changed, and really focusing on the detail and how all of the details are sort of right now in this map. And so looking at this block, the big difference is that it was too short from the north-south end. Specifically, this building here was too short. So I believe it was Storm that did this entire block, both originally and the rescaling. So this block has been made wider, so you can specifically notice the difference in this building here. This was the big difference, and it does look a lot better, a lot more accurate. And moving on to the sort of side of the east-west portion of this block, it was too wide by about 12 blocks, and so this was definitely a very large project for Storm, specifically this block. All these blocks over here were angled all the blocks here that were angled definitely caused difficulty for the builders who were fixing them. Brims and Ninja redid Berksey Park. I think it looks great. We were able to keep the Flatiron building the same, which was good, and really get some more details into Berksey Park. We still got the dogs, and we still got that nice pattern for the park that we were able to capture pretty well. And we actually had quite a big debate on what block to settle with, and we ultimately determined that this was the best pattern to be the most accurate for this build. 33 Young was also redone. Not as extensively as the other buildings, but we did have to fix the angles of the road. That was the biggest portion of the rescaling in this map, and it's sort of unfortunate in a way because you won't notice it really, unless you really look into a detailed view of the old map versus the new one. But the biggest change and the biggest result of redoing the entire area was that we redid the angles of the road so that they also matched perfectly with the actual city of Toronto. And so you may notice, if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you will notice a difference in this area specifically. Specifically, Front Street was the biggest angle that was off. The Esplanade was also off slightly, but not as significantly as the Front Street. Front Street was very off, and as a result, everything to the north and south of it was also kind of messed up as well. The other big change to the east end is L Tower. Storm, I believe Ninja redid this, or I'm not sure. I'm almost certain Ninja redid this. It was originally Storm's build, but it does look really good. I'm still not. There was a big debate about whether the color of the glass should be blue or what is it turquoise or teal, or what is the cyan? Cyan. I think cyan is the color. I still think it should be cyan. Ninja thinks it should be blue. Write what you think in the comments if you have an opinion. But regardless, the building looks great. The detail of it looks great. The interior of it looks really good, and we were able to sort of get a better interior on it this time around because we were able to allocate the proper amount of space for the build. And the reason that this was important, that's pretty much all the big changes in the East End. I'm going to fly over to the Fairmont so you guys can see that as well, because I made some pretty significant changes to that. But the big reason we did this isn't because we like redoing old builds, because obviously for you guys, you're more interested in seeing the city progress. And we have made some good progress on that, and you'll be seeing that in the videos ahead, and I'm going to try and be careful to not expose some of that. But the main reason that we did choose to redo the East End was because for future planning, really, and for future builds, we didn't want to have we didn't want to have our future builds be immediately off scale because of previous blocks. And so we said we can either take the time now and fix all of our blocks and make sure everything is perfect now. Here's a look at the Fairmont as I talk. We can either fix everything now and make sure everything's perfect now, so that when we do get to these other builds, they look proper, and the blocks are easy to do and the blocks are easy to scale. Or we can sort of have this problem ongoing throughout the entire map. And you can see now we're doing scaling very differently. We're measuring everything else beforehand using lime concrete. Lime concrete is now our measuring block, so that we can do future planning with that. We're using a new method of measuring through Google Maps that we didn't use before, using the measure distance tool on Google Maps, which is something I only recently discovered, which is kind of pathetic on my part because of how long I spent on Google Maps. But we're basically using that to measure everything out so that everything is perfectly accurate. Because what was happening is we weren't that far off on our blocks. We were always 1 or 2 meters either too large or too small, which seems fine. But what happens in the long run is if that compounds, you end up being 13, 14, 15 meters off after you go east by 8 blocks, which is what was happening over here, where we started off slightly off. And by the time we ended up going north and you compound these slight errors over and over and over, you end up being way far off in the long run. And that's where we've run into problems. And so that's really the issue with that. That's been resolved. And going forward, we should see no problems. And you can see I was showing you some of the work that's going on right now. These are a couple of buildings that I did, and a new builder that's trying out, Von Frank, has just built this. He's still working on the interior. This block won't get its own video, which is why I'm sort of showcasing it now while I talk, because I don't have any more buildings to showcase. But yeah, that's really it for this video. This is the Canadian Press building, if anyone's interested. I did kind of like my interior on here. I built some printers in it and stuff. We'll have a look. It's a little printing area, and then like the offices for the writers to write in, and then you have like a meeting room, and then sort of like the supervisor office, we'll call it. But that's really everything for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. And if you're new to the channel and you're just discovering the project, I really encourage you to check out the other videos from the series. I have a playlist that has all the videos, and it's a really good chance for you to catch up and sort of travel along with us and catch up on the journey that this map has gone through. It's been going on now for almost 3 years, and it's a pretty extensive project. We've made it a focus of the project now to cover everything as accurately as possible, which does slow down our pace of building a little bit. But I think it's worth it, and I think what we're doing here is something that's truly unique and truly allows you to capture the details in the story of the city. And so, like I said, I encourage you, if you're new to the channel, to check out the playlist and watch all the other videos and see how the other builds came to be, because I do tell some stories about how the build was built in the map, but also some stories about the history of the build in real life as well, if there's anything attached to that. So it's a good way for you to learn about the project, but also for you to learn a little bit about the city if you're interested as well. So that is everything. Like I said, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're a returning viewer and you enjoyed, if you could leave a like and share the channel with some of your friends, it would be greatly appreciated. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're all healthy. I know that there's some serious health stuff going on right now with COVID-19. So I hope all my viewers are doing well and are in good health. And aside from that, this has been Minecraft Building Toronto. My name is Gamefruitpulp. I'll catch you guys all next time. Have a good one.